everyone, and welcome back to another episode of What the Why with Barbara Ann on RVN Television. If you haven't seen us before, our show features conversations with diverse leaders from all walks of life about why they do what they do and how they figured things out. Maybe you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, or you feel stuck and want to get unstuck in your business or your job or even in your life. All of our guests have something in common with you. At some point in their lives, they felt similarly, and today is no exception. Please join me in welcoming in the studio Michael Graves, real estate investor and founder of Adelphia Investment Group. Headquartered in Darby, Pennsylvania, Adelphia Investment Group is involved in the purchase and renovation of real estate properties throughout the Mid-Atlantic region and has successfully completed multiple projects. And he just got back from a networking tour. I'm going to ask him about it. And why am I going to do that? Because what is unique about Michael is in a time in history when so many people live most, if not all of their lives online, he does not. Other than the fact that he's the proud father of 3 children, I actually don't know a ton about Michael, and I've had a couple of conversations with him. So this is going to be a very interesting learning experience for all of us as we delve into the journey of this rather reserved, interesting, and intuitive gentleman. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Michael Graves of Adelphia Investment Group to our show. So yay, you get the round of applause. So
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So, as our audience knows, and as I explained to you, usually what happens is after I read the bio, I ask our guests, well, you probably didn't imagine that's what you wanted to be when you were growing up. But whatever the case may be, the follow-up question is always, so what did you want to be when you were growing up? So Mike, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
Well, I didn't know. I think that's the reality for most people, right? Like, we don't know what we want to do. I remember like the idea of like wanting to make money. And this is all that most of us wants to do. Like, we want to make money, and we don't want to, we don't want to have to go and punch the clock all the time, but we do that until we hopefully figure out what that thing is. And once I tapped into the idea of like, I grew up kind of like cleaning up real estate spaces and, making $50 a day. And I had some family that pushed me into this space, trying to like keep me off of the street and out of trouble. And once I tapped back into that, I just was like, I can make this work. So while everybody was working in the office and they were on Facebook and using their time to like go through social media, I was on like maybe YouTube or any other social media platform that would give me information about real estate to like build on what I already knew. And then I ended up finding out that the place that I was living, I didn't even know about zoning. Found out what zoning was, and then I said, look, I can turn this place into a business downstairs by law. And then I looked around the neighborhood, I saw what it was missing, and I started a business.
Okay. So you started a business, which is already, we know that you have followed a different path.
Right.
But starting a business takes some serious courage. So you said some family pushed you, but what prompted you to say, okay, this is really what I really want to do? Because you can make money in a lot of things.
Yeah. So even when I made money, like it was very, it was slow in the beginning because I didn't know the things that you really needed to know. And, some of those things, I had a business, but I couldn't get it up and running. So I took the same approach, and I looked and educated myself, got into, real estate groups and, took on mentors and, found out what I was, because at one point I was 6 months without a rent, without a tenant. And I said, I must be doing something wrong. And what happened was I didn't understand the markets. So I was charging too much money. This is why I was sitting, and this is, if you understand, it seems like it makes sense But while you're in it, and if you're green, you don't know. You don't know that your rents are wrong. You don't know if the renovation is not right. If you don't know a ton of different things. So once I figured those things out, I made the adjustments. I got it rented. I made some money. Took that money, then I understood the financing and the refinancing aspect of it, and pushed that money into another property and did the same thing. And then I understood that I need to understand the process, because I think that the biggest hardship for most people is that they're chasing the money, because we want success and we want to make money, and success looks like money to most of us. But once you understand the business, then the money is just a byproduct of that. So I educated myself, and I'm still learning. I mean, I've been in this, I started when I was around 25, 26. I stopped working when I was 30, 31.
Okay.
I'm 40 now. And I haven't worked at a job since I was 30, 31 years old.
Okay. Because you went in all in.
All
you
in.
went all in. You went all in on this.
Yes.
And
yes.
well, money aside, I mean, people don't go all in on something unless they're really passionate about it.
Yes, yes. There's a, the whole deal about, if you do something that you love, you'll never work again.
Yeah.
And this is that. Like, every day I wake up, I don't look at real estate because it's my job per se. I really love real estate. Like, and it's not just real estate, just like investing, period. When I thought about my name, Adelphia Investment Group, I was young then and I didn't know much about the business, but everything that I put together in my mind was I didn't want to create a company that pigeonholed me. So if it could have been Adelphia Real Estate Group, but I was already thinking forward and saying investment group, because this could be anything. I want to invest and be successful, and that's kind of like where that came in.
Okay. So Adelphia Investment right now is real estate, but it could be, venture capital funds. It could be a whole host of things.
Once you know, and this is the thing, once you know about the real estate business, and once you get away from focusing on just the money and understanding the business, ultimately I want to put more energy into, like project management, other things that surround, because you could have your home or you could be a first-time investor. I just had a friend call me this morning, and he's buying something in Maryland, but he has no sense of how to deal with that project. He's cherry picking these people that may do a good job, they may not. He has no idea of what the numbers are, understanding comps, or understanding all the things that revolve around this to make it profitable, because that's what it's about. So, and I encourage people like that to, maybe look into somebody like me that is I have gone through those hardships. I lost a ton of money in the beginning, trying to figure out what the best way to deal with this project, or the best way to deal with these projects, and who are the best people to deal with them. And it's not so much the money all the time, sometimes it's the time, because you can be on a project for a month and a half, or you can be on that project for 6 months to a year. And if you don't get it done in a timely manner, you'll lose money as well. So,
and it's interesting because what you're describing, like people, they go online and they see some of these entities that want to sell stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's like, but you're not talking about flipping properties. What you do is far more complex than that. And you mentioned teams.
Right.
Like you've got teams of people that you actually bring in to help with these projects. So
Yes.
there's probably a lot of people out there right now watching, and they want to know, well, I can do that, but what's really involved? Because as you said, you lost a lot of money in the beginning.
Right.
Until you didn't, because you educated yourself.
Right. And just to be honest, like we still lose money now sometimes, but there's ways we lose way less money now because, like you put into a project and, sometimes you lose money on some things take more time than, you anticipated. Mm-hmm. So you lose a little bit of money there, but it's nothing really that is, you can manage those losses.
It all nets out.
Yeah, it all works out. We are still profitable, absolutely profitable. Like some people, they might tell you that you need to be able to know how to win on this particular project. Somebody brings me a deal and they say, I don't know, it's $150,000 for this deal. And they tell me where it is, and they tell me how much it costs to get it fixed. Already before I see it, I know that it's a bad deal. And you shouldn't do. I mean, you have to do your homework, mm-hmm. and you have to be on top of that part of the business. So.
All right. Well, believe it or not, it's time for our mid-commercial break.
Yeah.
So we are going to come back with more with Mike Graves of Adelphia Investment Group after this brief break from our commercial sponsors. Welcome back to What the Why with Barbara Ann and today's in-studio guest, Mike Graves, investor with Adelphia Investment Group, actually founder of Adelphia Investment Group. And part of what we were talking about before the break was, people will watch certain things on TV and they'll think they can do this. And it's so much more involved than just doing this. And you mentioned, you've been at this long enough, you hear a certain project and you know right off the bat, nope, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. So I would encourage people to, when I hear a lot of people say, oh, my uncle does that. My uncle is an electrician. He'll help me with this. Right? Or I know a guy that, and then they'll hear these numbers and these professional companies or me, like I'll come to you and I'll say, look, I can take care of this project for you for whatever the number is. And you're like, oh, my family or my friends they do that, they can help me. Typically, that's going to turn into my number anyway, mm-hmm. because you're going to pay for me to come and fix this problem. And, the reality is you can do it. This is not impossible, but you have to be smart about how you navigate in this business. It's certainly not for everybody, mm-hmm. but if you stay focused, you can certainly get this done. And you should just make smart decisions, mm-hmm. and try to save yourself on, the shortcuts.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because, there are people who are watching right now and they'll say, he's an investor? But you just got back from like a major trip.
Yeah, I had a little networking tour. I flew out to Phoenix to LA. And then back to Chicago and then back home. But I met some really, really good people in this networking experience. And I hope to do some really good business with these guys. And hopefully when they watch this, I want them to see.
This is your chance. Shout out to them.
I want to see you guys. Y'all know who I met on this trip. Hope to do big business with you guys. We're looking at like a 35 unit is the goal. 35 unit apartment building right now. It's a full rehab in Delaware County. And it's just something that I had my eyes on for a little while. And what I want people to know as well, like if you have or if you have an opportunity to bring it to people like me or anybody else, you want to be able to at least be knowledgeable about the product that you're bringing to me or anybody else. So just try to, get that particular property, just know, how many bedrooms it is, what the status of that property is. You don't have to know all the details about that property. You just have to be at least knowledgeable about what it is so that we can take it as an investor and turn it into what we know, I guess, to make it make money.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What would you say was your biggest learning experience on this journey?
I've been, that's a huge question.
Okay.
So,
what was one learning experience that you had on this journey?
Yeah, I mean, I think that to get back to like what we even said earlier, is just, it wasn't really tough. The understanding that it wasn't really about money. Mm-hmm. I really wanted, I wanted to be successful. And I don't know what success looks like to most people out there, but once I realized that I'll make money and I'll lose money, right? And you'll do the same thing. But you want to make more money, right, than lose, because it's just a business at the end of the day. And also understand what success really means to you, because time, to me, is what makes my position in life successful. I have 3 children, I have a beautiful girlfriend, and I want to make sure that I get to spend the time the way I want to with them. And, the money is a part of the stress-free process of what we go through. So I want to be able to, I have a 15-year-old daughter, a 9-year-old son, a 3-year-old daughter. That's what success is to me, to be able to sit home with them, to see them through the process of life and be able to do the things with them that I want to do, and they don't need for anything. That's what success looks like. So to answer your question.
Like I said, you should be a coach. There are so many people out there that are, some of you are watching this show because you haven't figured out the keys to internal happiness.
I think that we all have our journey.
Exactly.
Yes. And I know that some people, they glorify this thing because, it's easy to glorify what we're missing. Mm-hmm. Typically, we'll say that we're missing money, and you'll spend a ton of your time in your life at work. And when anything happens, I mean, was it all worth it in hindsight? You wanted to do the thing. You work so that you can do the things that you want to do. That's ultimately what we want to do, and I want to encourage people to do just that. So if there's ever a time where, I'm always open to investment opportunities. If anybody ever, reached out to me and had something, look, my, family left a building to them and they're going to lose it. I see it happen so many times. Mm-hmm. It's sad. It's really sad. Your family left you a building, but you are not in a financial space to really take advantage of that opportunity. And you don't know how to you might look at the property in that area and you say, oh, well, my neighbor's selling for $250,000. You don't even understand that your property is not worth that. Mm-hmm. You have to spend maybe $80,000 to $100,000+ to get it to that place. And, do you have $80,000 to $100,000? No? Well, then it's worth this. Mm-hmm. You have to understand this. And if you don't have anybody to call for that, there are people like me that might be interested in those deals. So don't lose it. Don't lose it. Take advantage of these opportunities around you and pay attention to the fact that, maybe your neighbor moved, or they can't afford their house and they're losing it to the state or anything. There's a bunch of different scenarios. If you're just paying attention to those things, that guy might owe $50,000 on that property, and you can come to me and say, Mike, this guy owes $50,000. I can get it under contract for $60,000. I'll buy it for $60,000. You make $10,000 more than you would make in.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how long it takes you to make $10,000 at your job, but you don't have to do anything, but just bring it to me, and then we all succeed.
Good to know. So here comes the hardest question of the interview. At least this is what I've been told by some of the other guests. If you were the one that was doing interview, what question would you wish that I had asked you that I have not already asked?
So I think it's hard because we didn't come prepared to ask the question. But I think that it might be along the lines of some of the things we talked about off camera, like whatever it is that will be, I hope something along the lines of like what will be empowering to the people. I would love to see somebody watch this and it really turn them from whatever they were doing to, some real positive thing that, it doesn't have to be real estate. It just has to be something. You got to find what is like a passion. I think that's like whatever that.
What the why? What is your why?
There you go. She's really good.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, that's my why. My why is helping other people figure out what their why is. And there's people out here watching right now who the fear of change still is stronger than the fear of staying the same.
So and I want you guys to know this. We spoke about this off camera. I've turned down some opportunities of public speaking and things like that because it's just not a comfortable space for me. But I made a point to put myself this year in more uncomfortable situations that will prevent growth for me. So I want you guys to be mindful of that. Like, there is no growth in your comfort space. You have to be willing to put yourself in uncomfortable situations to promote growth. So you don't grow in a comfortable space. So I hope that's helpful to somebody.
I think it will be, and it's actually our final word because we are out of time.
Absolutely.
So, okay, Mr. lives his life mostly off the grid except for when he's connecting people traveling around the country. What is the best way for people to reach out to you if they do want to learn more or want to explore whatever properties they may have?
So I have my email, aigphilly@gmail.com. That's probably one of the best and the safest ways to kind of like put my information out there. My social media is, what is that?
Mike-Adelphia?
Mike-Adelphia. I'm not a big social media head. So,
no.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
Yes. But if you want to reach out and if you see opportunity and hopefully I can help you or we can help each other, certainly reach out to me on my social media platform, Mike-Adelphia.
Help him build his LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah. And I should work
He's
on my
on LinkedIn, so he does exist. All right. So we got to wrap this up. So thank you for coming across the bridge and sharing your story. I know this was way outside your comfort zone, but.
Well, you made it easy.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
So, and as you know, you don't want to miss any of our upcoming guests either. Like I said, we've got everyone from our last episode, which was, international major scientists, to local entrepreneurs who get it better than some coaches that I've met in the coaching community. Sorry, coaches, I'm keeping it real. But they do run the gamut of everything. And one of the biggest things that they all figured out along the way is what they were really meant to do in their life and how they're showing up. So please tune in to learn more and be inspired by their journeys. And if you've missed any of our guests, whether that's seasons 1, 2, or 3, all of them are available on the What the Why page of rvntelevision.com, as well as on Roku. You have so many viewing choices these days, so many viewing choices. So thank you very much for watching our show, and please tell a friend or family member about us, especially if you think that they need to hear what our guests are saying. As a reminder, we are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on RVN Television as well as Roku. And also, please remember, whether you're looking to make changes in your life, no matter how big or small, tune in again for more interesting, illuminating, stepping outside of our comfort zone conversations with guests like Mike, who overcame whatever challenges lay in their path, even if it was appearing on a show. Realistically, though, they overcame whatever challenges lay in their path to find their purpose and live it.